You don't have to look far to see that our marketplace is in the middle of a disruption. Offices that were once filled to the brim with employees are now settling in with a hybrid workforce. And remote work has become a way to experience flexibility and autonomy. And without that commute, we save time, money, wear and tear on our cars, and gas in the tank. We can now live in a place that we've always wanted with our virtual office tied to HQ in another city. And what it does, it gives us some freedom and communicates trust when we treat our employees as team members versus a group of cattle in the center of the work floor, where we watch over them to make sure they're working and not getting away with anything. What is clear to me is there's no guarantee of having security with a job in the corporate realm. That safe office job no longer exists. What we see, companies are shifting, whether it's a fear of recession or reconciling their needs coming out of the pandemic, or the fact that the teams we need, we still have yet to be determined. Loyalty to a company can end up creating a disloyalty to yourself and to those around who love you. And then there are some who are waiting for the office of 2019 to return. I hate to break it to you, but those people we had in our companies, the 2019 version of those people, it no longer exists. They've had a chance to step back and look at what they are doing and what has become a priority for them and what they're no longer willing to settle for. They really have more awareness of that. They're also looking at the social conscious of the companies they want to do business with. And as the world continues to shift with a need for more humanity around the conference table, here's what we need. We need more communication, more collaboration, more connection, and more listening. We are better together than when we beat each other down. And it's a contrast to people aggressively walking over each other as they climb the corporate ladder. We're talking more and more about culture as a discipline, and it has little to do with Monday margaritas after work. We want to work with companies that align with what we believe in, that are more about making the people who are building your company elevated than the people at the top of the food chain making them more money. We're looking for a place that treats people like humans, that understands how the diversity of opinions and experiences can create better solutions. We want to work at companies where we can find a place to belong. And there's several important factors, and community is one of them. In fact, Gallup reports that employees with a best friend at work are more likely to engage with customers and partners. They're more likely to get work done in less time. They support a safer workplace. They innovate and share ideas. And most of all, they have fun when they're at work. It also has a strong link to business outcomes, including profitability, safety, inventory control, and retention. Other employees who were thrown into the world of work remotely or hybrid found that their best friend at work helped them be more informed, kept them accountable, and connected them to our team. However, an employee without a best friend at work became that much more isolated when they were working at home. When they don't collaborate or feel like a friend is depending on them, their work performance may drop too. So look at how leading in this new ecosystem can be difficult. And you can see why an increasing amount of people have decided they don't want to do it anymore. They're switching up their thinking. They may be quiet quitting, where they distance themselves from their work. They're less motivated and they only do what's necessary. They may dislike where they are so much they engage in what is called rage applying. This is when an employee starts applying for any role, even if it's not suited for them. But what I see more of and what I encourage many people to do is rather than quitting your job to start your own thing or finding a position that you don't like, which is, as my mom would say, going from the fire to the frying pan, is use the work that you're good at to help you fund your side gig. Then I also want to speak about retirement. It used to be that you worked your 30 years, you put in your time, and when it was done, you got to walk away and do what you loved. The question was, would you be healthy enough at the end of those 30 years to do it? And I don't believe you have to wait 30 years to find work that you love to do or doing things that inspire you. Speaking of retirement, more and more people are choosing to delay retirement, whether it's working because of financial necessity or they've worked so much they have no hobbies. Research has shown that leaving the workforce can increase the risk of heart disease and other medical conditions by 40% in some retirees. Experts believe that a lack of purpose and social connection in retirement could be that trigger for physical and mental health issues. And additional research results have shown that early retirement may be a risk factor for mortality, and a prolonged working life may provide survival benefits among U.S. adults. So, if there's little security in a company job, and there's so many people in job transition, and retirement may no longer be an option, and then we have quiet quitting, or you quit your job to go all in on a business, which could be terrifying at best, I want to introduce you to a term. It's called straddle season. Straddle season is the time period where you're moving from one side to the other. It's where you cross or exist on both sides of something. It may be when you have one job, but are on-ramping to move to the next. It could be when you're still working for someone else and funding your new venture on the side. Or in my case, it's working in one area where my expertise was established while building a new interest I'd like to do more of. So let me give you an example. Many entrepreneurs start out positioned as an expert. It's something that they're good at. It may be a skill they bring in from working for others when they work for someone else. Particularly if you were in a corporate role, you had a highly visible position and you were at the top of your game. And you had people around you to support you of things that you needed to get done. So let's just say you've had enough and you want to do something different. Remember, you have a choice here. Keep a steady paycheck while you grow your own thing, or make the leap and go all in. It's definitely a personal choice, but I know in this economy, having a paycheck can be a wonderful thing. But about this work you're doing, if you are good at it and you get paid well for it, it's easy to say yes to doing it. There's some value in that you don't want to throw away. This is what Gay Hendricks, who wrote The Big Leap, calls the zone of excellence work. It's doing what you know very well, but it doesn't necessarily set your soul on fire. And too much of it could put you on the road to burnout or even rust out. But you keep doing it because you need and like the money. That is until you have this pull on your heart. There will come a time when your business is up and running and you begin to resent some of the things that get in the way of what you really want to be doing. And the work that you may discover that starts tugging at you is what we call your zone of genius work. It's what you lose track of time doing, and it can be what you're doing that leads you to work in your purpose. So the time when you're doing what you're good at that brings you in money while you're building your new line of business, your new offer, your new business on the side is called straddle season. I will tell you that navigating the straddle season can be a challenge, and it has the potential to be exhausting. You still have deadlines to meet, people depending on you, things that are necessary, but aren't at the top of your list. All the while, you have this other work that aligns more with the purpose you're being called to do. It's the thing that lights your heart on fire and makes your soul sing. Here's a lesson I've learned about how to navigate the straddle season. I pulled out this large piece of paper, or you could use a whiteboard, and you draw two intersecting lines on paper. On the upper left side of the paper, I put zone of excellence work. Start your list of things that fall into the area, the names of clients, the projects underneath it, the places where your revenue comes from. Underneath that, in the bottom left square, are the things you need to be doing to support your business so you can continue to work in it. It might be writing emails to your list or building a template, recording your processes to hand over to a future virtual assistant, or researching new technology to streamline your work. It's working on your business versus working in your business. Then go to the upper right-hand side of your paper. Title it Zone of Genius Work. This is where you list the things you love to do. It's what you can't believe you get to do. It's knowing this is the work that is pulling you forward. And the lower right-hand corner are the things that need to get done for your business to do more of Zone Genius work to happen. It might be business development or networking to meet the right people or gate openers, creating materials and assets, or even courses. And then you have it. Your business is right in front of your face, a list of tasks that go into 4 different categories. Work that has to be done in order to get paid and what has to be there to support it. And work you can't believe you get to do. It's what you're building to increase in this area. And gradually, as you get more clients in the Zone of Genius work, you'll be able to start declining the amount of Zone of Excellence work. And you may not want to totally walk away, though. You can consider if you want to keep the first side of your business as another stream of revenue. Do you want to bring in a team member to lead it? Or do you want to build systems so it works on automation or someone else to come oversee it? And it's not a bad idea to have several streams of revenue. So how long can the straddle season last? Well, as long as you want to make it. But I think it's really difficult to complete in less than 12 to 18 months. You want to continue doing the work to build your brand for delivering with excellence. And what you may find is clients from one side of your business will follow you to another. This would make sense as they already know you, they like you, and they trust you. And you also need to consider the 2 sides of what you're doing. Are they related at all? For me, they are. The first side of my business is something I will always do. It's the foundation of marketing. It's knowing who has the problem that you can solve. It's developing those offers and creating a message to connect the 2. But what is going to change is who I'm going to do it for. Right now, I work with a range of company sizes. Solopreneurs up to mid-range businesses of $50 million. And a narrow range of industries, consultants, coaches, professional service providers, e-commerce, construction, and education. I can see in the future where I could narrow my niche in my Zone of Genius work. That's helping those service providers understand how they are different from others in the industry and how to build a brand that will build trust with their clients and then move them to the process of working with them. If this sounds like a lot, it is. It's not only what you do to fuel yourself, the sleep, the food, and the exercise you need to put into your body. It's also the emotional tension of wanting to do the thing that's affectionately waiting for you, that sits on the corner of the desk calling your name, but you know you have other obligations. I often think of it as being a child when you had work to do, but all you wanted to do was go outside to play. But all in all, this is what entrepreneurship is. No one ever said it would be easy, but did it have to be this hard? It doesn't. What are your thoughts? If you ever had to navigate 2 different cadences in your business and make them come together, has that ever happened? So until next week, I want you to look at what you're doing. Do you have an opportunity to start a side gig? What parts of the work that you do are you ready to say goodbye to? And what parts can you see moving into your new venture? What is the pull on your heart of something you've always wanted to do? And whether it makes you money or if it's something that involves you serving for the purpose of filling your heart versus filling your bank account, how do you navigate both? This is the thing about reinvention. You get to choose. Be intentional about how to set up your life. Take a step back and throw the rules you've come to believe to the side for a while. But start with what is non-negotiable and then look at what's possible. This reinvention process can be a wild ride, but it's also one of the most fulfilling. You lean in with passion, take it as far as you can, fill your cup up with a feeling of gratitude, and cast off what you no longer need. And lean into using those gifts you have. It's connecting your purpose to why you are here. And as a final note, if you're enjoying this content, please share this episode with others. But better yet, let me know you're on the other side of this microphone. And if you'd like to have questions for me to answer, reach out on LinkedIn or Instagram. Tell me what you're enjoying about the show. And then also, I'd love it if you leave a review. It's how other people will discover this. So until next week, I hope you get to live a life of so much more than you ever imagined it could be. It will be the path on the way to becoming your legendary self.